Welcome back, my name is LastKnownMeal and today we're going to talk about Cyberpunk Red Jumpstart Kit. Jumpstart Kit is somewhat of a starter edition of the latest installment in the franchise. It gives you an introduction to the tabletop RPGs as well as the Cyberpunk universe. It also updates the rules and role-playing systems so that everyone who wanted to get into it can pick this up and play straight out of the box. Now keep one thing in mind, this is not a full source book of Red that is coming out sometimes later. Now we don't have the exact release date, but when it comes to Jumpstart Kit, it does talk a lot around Night City and the events that happened after the Fourth Corporate War and how the society changed amidst the ruins of the post-war Night City. The name Cyberpunk Red actually comes from the aftermath of the worldwide conflict. All the particles and debris from nuclear blast and orbital strikes went out into the atmosphere, and it created somewhat of a layer over the sky, and for nearly 2 years skies were red from all these things that went out into the atmosphere, and thus the time between the end of the Fourth Corporate War and the present, which is set in 2045, will be called the time of the Red. A very interesting idea. There is actually a perfect image of that universe right now in one of the first illustrations in the world book. It sums up how people adapted for this new world, with the net being destroyed, with nomads gaining more power because of their infrastructure for ports and highways, how people started scavenging around Night City for cybernetics, weapons, vehicles, and how they adapted into this new world. I think that the Jumpstart Kit does a very good job of explaining what happened before 2020 and what happened after the war. It also gives a really nice introduction into how the city rebuilt itself, as well as to mention all the little details from metro to freeways and various other things. They talk about transportation, clothing, style, and how all of that has drastically changed from 2020. Now the game comes with 6 pre-generated characters: Rocker Boy 40, Fixer called Grease, Solo called Mover, a Nomad named Racer, a cool Netrunner Redeye, and a tech named Torch. Their stats are already established, as well as some gear they're carrying, but their background, motivation, goals, friends, enemies, romance, and personality is left for you. You can alter them, but if you just want to play, they're ready out of the box. You also have pre-generated adventure called The Apartment. Not going to spoil anything, but it's a short adventure for first-time players. It's straightforward, interesting, full of twists and turns, and can serve as a tutorial for the game itself. Also, netrunning is simplified and way more fun than before. I will make a separate video on it, so stay tuned for that. Besides that, you have all the GM tutorials on how to run Cyberpunk Red. Keep in mind the system has changed. Netrunning is different, as I said. Now they're also using a new updated combat system called Thursday Night Throwdown, or TNTD, which is a modified original system called Friday Night Firefight. The system is done in a way to cover all the major elements of both ranged and melee combat. It doesn't resort to a lot of details anymore, but it doesn't simplify it to the point where the veteran players will say, oh, this is too easy. I think they found a perfect sweet spot for everything, because the combat is going to be quick, it's going to be interesting, and especially netrunning, which before took hours to finish, now can be done a lot easier. And how basically netrunning has changed, because now you as a netrunner cannot really go into a room all the way back from all the action and just hack everything. You have to be on site to do that, so the gameplay elements did change. Now when it comes to the book itself, it's done really well. You can easily follow what is going on, the illustrations are nice, there are some high quality pictures that not only look cool but give you a perspective of what is going on and how the world looks right now. It helps to paint the picture in your head once you're playing, especially now the aesthetics of the world changed. When it comes to weapons and other main character, it doesn't go into detail what happened to them. We have to wait for the full Cyberpunk Red for that. There are some black market cybernetics to read about, and generally all about the little details you might need when you start playing. It also has an entire page about street slang, so everything you need to know to communicate, like who are boosters, chromers, what is input. By the way, input is a slang for girlfriend. Also, they gave us what roles we now have, and they are rocker boys, solos, netrunners, techs, medias, lawmen, execs, fixers, and nomads. Really interested in solos, to be honest. That is going to also be my first character. Now don't worry, you have all the details on how to create your character or modify the pre-established one, so you're not going to be lost. There is even a part in the book that says, okay, you're new to this, calm down. We're going to show you everything, and they really do. Because, for example, I'm someone who doesn't play Cyberpunk all that much. I played Cyberpunk 2020 2 times. So for me to have this book and to easily go into it without any problems and to learn everything about playing it is definitely a huge plus in my book. In the end, this is something you should pick up if you are interested in Cyberpunk and you never play tabletop RPGs in general. It's easy to get in, as I said, and you also get to know the world of Cyberpunk, and this is gonna be interesting for everyone who wants to jump into 2077. We also got a question on one of the podcasts: do we actually need to read 2020 and Red to go into 2077? No, you don't, but if you really want to see the whole perspective of the world and what happened and all the little details and cybernetics and weapons and the history of corporations you're gonna be playing with, reading those things is definitely a plus. More videos are definitely coming out around Red. I have so many things to talk about. This was an overview of the kit, and I left you a link down below. You can get this via DriveThruRPG. The price is $15 right now. It has been discounted from $29.99. I'm not sure for how long this sale is going to go, but the link is down below. Also, tell me in the comments what you think about Cyberpunk Red, and are you excited about the full edition? Also smash that like and subscribe button for more Cyberpunk videos, and join our amazing community on Twitter and Discord. Stay classy everyone, and bye bye.